don't think anybody's in the chat anyways there. So hello, everybody. Welcome to our live chat tonight. It is myself, Comics for Thomas, and my good friend Magic Lasso. If you've read the title, basically what we're going to be doing is showing a bunch of pickups that I've gotten over the last, I don't know, part of December and some in January by the time they get here. And we're just going to chat some comics and talk about stuff that we have coming up and goals for the year and et cetera, et cetera. So
awesome. Right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. How you making out?
Doing really well. This week I was a little bit under the weather, nothing serious. Sometimes people just get a cold. And the week prior where I live, there was a 60-degree temperature change within the course of like 3.5 days.
Oh man.
And I certainly think that was the root of my not feeling the greatest this week, but I'm on the mend, doing great. I'm feeling good. I'm happy to be here. And yeah.
Hello, TM Nerdy.
Hey, Travis is
welcome. Yeah, I know, like with obviously with temperature changes and stuff like that, it's a big one. But I think compared to last year, like we were year one into this, so nobody was getting sick because we were just staying inside and being like super cautious. And now people are actually allowed to get colds, but you get a cold now and it just destroys you because you haven't been sick in 2 years, or a year. It's like everybody I know is getting it, and they're getting tested. No, it was just a cold, or just a little bit like a minor flu, but it's kicking the crap out of everybody because they're not used to it. Like,
I'm happy I'm so happy to see Travis here because I was talking to him. You two live pretty close to each other.
Well, pretty sure he had messaged me a couple times through Instagram. Now that I recognize the banner.
Yeah,
I'm positive it is, right? So.
No, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know that you've been really busy, Thomas, but when you get a chance, hit Travis up because not only is he a great guy in the community, but I think that's pretty cool that you guys live relatively close to each other, considering where you live in relations, to Canada. So
yeah, that's so true, right? I know. I was even hearing from some guys just through the Facebook auctions that I do, and most everybody is like in Ontario and Alberta and stuff like that, Quebec. And I've just this week I've talked to 3 guys or a city over from me that I literally dive into their comic shop as much as I can because that's the one where I get all my goodies and steal it from them, right? So it's like, oh yeah, no, you buy books from me, I'll get them to you because I'll be at your comic shop stealing all the stuff and selling it back to you, basically, right? So,
well, that's amazing what a community you have in that area too, because I remember pulling you up on the map, and I'm like, I think he's in the ocean.
Yes,
so,
I know, right?
That's what it felt like when I looked up your address. So.
Oh my God, yeah. I've been very, very lucky to have a really, really good community, and as you'll see with some of these books, I have a couple of really nice spots to get comics.
Awesome, that's great.
I'm going to show a couple. I don't normally I just like grab all the books and it's just disorganized and stuff like that. But I took the time and kind of organized this, like in like, here's the Avengers books, here's the indie blah blah blah. So these are going to be these aren't all just like, hey, I got these the other day. Like this is stuff that I've gotten, basically in December into January a little bit, just coming in the mail. So
awesome.
I'm actually going to pull this book out. Sorry,
make yourself a little bit bigger too when you get.
Oh, it's not. Never mind. Yeah, I will. Actually, I'll do that now. Okay. I thought this was a wraparound cover, but I realized it's like just a connecting cover, so I don't need to take this book out. This is for the Jonathan Hickman Avengers run that I'm slowly putting together. It is a variant. This is number 18. Where am I at here? There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool. And for some reason, I thought it was a wraparound, but I remember now it's a connecting cover. So.
That's cool. Do you have the other covers that match it?
I don't. I think that it goes along with New Avengers.
Okay.
Because there are some covers in this run that have connecting that are of New Avengers and something else. So, and I haven't I'm not going to collect the New Avengers, even though I do have some of the books from it because there are some really cool covers. I really like. I don't know her name, but I love.
Is that Psylocke?
Well, I don't know. I don't think so. I just love the green that's going on there with her. Let's see if I can get her closer.
That isn't the new Polaris, is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Cool Moon Knight. This is a War of the Realms #1. This is a variant cover as well. I can't remember who does the cover, but it's nice. There are a lot of really nice covers in that War of the Realms run, I guess, in series. But like, I mean, it was one of those crossover events that I just was like, there's no way I'm going to collect attempt to collect them, because like it was like spread across the Marvel universe. There was just so many. I was like, there's no way. I used to get caught up in that. Like, let's get the main and all the crossovers. I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to show a couple more. Okay. This is 1602 Witch Hunter Angela Part 1.
Oh, nice.
I like those 1602s. I wouldn't mind. Like, I've been slowly just kind of grabbing them if I can grab them for cheap. I like the style.
And so I take it it's a period piece.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
And I have part 2 or part 3 or something like that. It was in my last haul video, so it was cool to find that one as well. This is Illuminati #1. I don't know what volume, because this obviously is not the Illuminati that we think of most times, but just a cool cover. And I got it in a Facebook auction, like just as almost like a filler book, but knowing like, okay, it's a nice cover. I got it for like $2.
Nice.
And then 2 more. This is Jerome Opena. He was doing the Infinity Run, which was also Jonathan Hickman, which I love the Infinity Run. This is one of the Jerome Opena design variants for Supergiant, one of the Black Order. I love these design variants. And these ones were the ones that first got me into Jerome Opena, who does 7 to Eternity. But I didn't realize like it was the same person until I read 7 to Eternity and collected that, and then started seeing these and realized, oh, it's Jerome Opena who's doing these. No wonder I like the art so much. This is very much, if you know 7 to Eternity, this is the same style of art. So it's very, very cool.
Nice.
And then last one. This is Guardians of the Galaxy #21. This is just a run that I'm putting together. It kind of not ties, but eventually ties in with like Infinity and stuff like that. That Nova run, the volume 3 or volume 4, I guess, is the one that I kind of fell in love with the character for. It runs along with this one as well. Realm of Kings and stuff like that. So
nice.
Yeah. So that's the first couple. Yeah, we got I guess to anybody who's watching or going to be watching on the rewind, I guess we kind of have a tradition now of buying a bunch of books on Christmas Day through this site together, right? We get them sent to me. But the thing is that why I have so many books here today is because like that box came yesterday. I missed it obviously, and I picked it up today. But I had been slowly putting things into like a whole pile with them, and then the Christmas Day thing happened where we had the sale, and then we got your books, and then I bought a bunch, and then I ended up buying a couple more. So like when the box came, like I had a significant amount already even in there, right? And you could tell because he it's not like he took them all and put them in one pile. It's like you could tell when we were buying them, he was like, okay, here's a stack, here's a little stack, little stack, and I'm like tearing them all apart and stuff, and getting all the stickers and stuff off of them. So, but every book,
so books runneth over today.
Yeah, exactly, right. So.
Well, I know I got a pretty good haul coming just from that stack alone.
I know, and I was looking at some of the covers again too, and I don't collect DC, but what run that you've been collecting, I just like those covers.
Yeah, Teen Titans.
Yeah, it's Teen Titans. I think
we're talking the original, the
original,
the volume ones. Yeah,
very, very good stuff. So
I was just reading some from the last stack that you sent me. And I was just reading them a few nights ago. And a lot of times with DC Silver Age, you get, and the nicest way I can say it is wonky stories. I mean, they're pretty out there.
Yeah.
I will say that those, minus the language, and I'll go into that in a second, but the stories were overall really good. Yeah. But when I say language, especially in Teen Titans, it's Kid Flash, they call them Flasheroo.
Oh,
and Wonder Girl is Wonder Chick.
There you go.
And I don't mean they say it all the time. They're like, oh, Flasheroo, grab Wonder Chick and head over and see what the scene is. You know, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Like you need to almost like retell those stories in today's lingo.
Yeah, exactly.
Which really, I mean,
And by the way, with my Teen Titans run, I looked, and this is including what's coming from you. But I think I'm down to 5 that I need for volume 1, which was like about 53 issues. And I already have 1. 1 is the most expensive of all of them, even though it's not their first appearance.
No, for sure.
I'm down to 5.
Are they like? Have you seen them and stuff like that on eBay or wherever? But
you can find them even at shows and stuff.
A little pricey or
not really?
No, okay.
And I'm good with like a good plus or a fine minus on them.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. I think the most expensive one I need is 25, which is a great cover of the Teen Titans that are kind of in a circle, and their adult JLA mentors are in a circle around them, pointing at them, kind of like, you dropped the ball, you screwed up.
Yeah,
that's more of the expensive one. But even when I'm saying expensive on that, $20, $20, $30 for mid grade. So
one of those things you can pick up at any time. I guess like with that series, it's kind of like, even though like this is a different time period, I could get every issue in this run tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not a priority. And you could get these books because it's not a lot of major keys, I guess you could call it, right? So so like, even though it's only a $20 book, it's like, well, you could be spending that 20 on a different book now, knowing you could just grab $20 and go get it.
I'll tell you what I think the hardest part is when you get down to like 5 issues like what I have, and I'm talking in any run.
Yeah.
At least for me, what I think it is trying to find a seller that has multiples so you can save on shipping.
Yeah. 100%.
So, if I can find a seller that has 2 or 3 of the 5, I'm more enlightened to go with them.
That's so true, especially with like, say, for example, eBay. Like, how does a $20 book turn into a $36 book because it was $16 to ship it to me?
Yeah,
for one book, when I could spend $42 and get 3 books with $16 shipping. You know what I mean? Just buy a couple really cheap ones. See, that's why with the Facebook auctions, or even just like the sites that we use, like, we want to maximize that shipping as much as we can, right? So
I was looking just this afternoon at someone on eBay who had some books I was interested in. Like they had one listing of a lot of books, and I really liked that lot, the books that were in that lot. And then it said, I think it was $20. Then it was another $9 for shipping. But the thing was, if you bought $36 total in his eBay store, shipping became free. So then I started thinking, well, by the time if I just bought that one listing alone, that's $29.
Yeah.
I add $7 more in, then all of a sudden everything's free and I get more books.
Yeah.
And he has stuff that I like, but it wasn't anything that just made me. It wasn't bad stuff, but it wasn't anything that I needed outside of that one listing. So
sometimes it's just filler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how much do I want to get into filler? So, all right, let me show a couple more books. Let's see here. This is, I probably should have showed this with the Guardians of the Galaxy because this kind of ties into all that. This is Annihilation Conquest, Quasar. But this is actually, I think it's Philavel or something like that. She becomes Quasar during that run. I can't remember if it's her or someone else is with her, but she basically, because Quasar is a guy, but the Quasar just follows these quantum bands. That's all I really know. So, hey, Cookie.
Hey, Cookie.
Hope you're doing well, my friend. We're just basically showing off all the books I've gotten in the last couple weeks. I got a crap ton of books today, so and then we're just kind of chatting comics. This is another tie-in for the Annihilation. This is Annihilation Ronin.
That's an homage cover, right?
I feel like it is. It looks super familiar.
That's what I thought too. I can't place what it's homaging, but
no.
If it isn't an homage cover, it feels like it is.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah, just as soon as you see it, you think, yeah, I like it. I just like the lines through his weapon and stuff like that, like everything that stands out, right? Let's see. Oh yeah, I'll show these because these all came together. Because I'm putting together not volume 1, but I think it's like volume 3 and 4 of Eternals. Mostly for the art. I actually haven't read any of them, but This is the Neil Gaiman ones, or Gaiman, or however we say it. This is issue number 3. I don't know why I keep messing this up. Where am I at here? There we go. That's a cool one. This is number 5. And these are John Romita Jr. JR. This is number 6. It's a variant. I don't know who does the variant. These are easy little volumes to get, though, because like they're so short. You just kind of grab some of the variants, too. And this is a Eternal Sketchbook. The guy had it, and I was like, all right, cool. That's kind of neat. You know what I mean? It would kind of show, like, I guess some of their designs for the run, probably.
Yep.
So that's
Thanks for asking, Cookie. I am doing much better. I'm feeling a lot better.
Yeah, that's what I was asking him today. I was like, you feeling up for hanging out?
No, I'm doing good. 48 hours ago, I couldn't have gotten through a sentence without coughing. So
exactly.
So, okay, I'm going to say an unpopular opinion, okay?
Yeah.
I didn't like the Eternals movie.
I don't think it's an unpopular opinion. I liked it. But
I thought it was beautiful. I mean, I thought it was shot cinematically beautiful. And I can't imagine
one of the
IMAX.
Yeah, one of the better looking Marvel movies overall, you know what I mean? It was like that, and there might be like 3 or 4 that go with it in regards to the way it looked. Yeah. But I get it. Like it's something where I'm like, hey, I really liked it, but I can't argue it. You know what I mean?
It was the story for me. Now, I will say that the 2 end credit scenes, which I won't spoil, but both of them I was super excited for. I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I love both of those.
Yeah. I don't remember what the end credit scenes were, to be honest. And I know I watched them. I saw it in theater and haven't watched it since. So you see so many, right? I haven't seen it yet. I'm slacking. You know what? Like you said, it's a beautiful movie, and it's one of those things too, as well as here I am collecting Eternals volumes, and I went in my buddy was asking me about like, hey, like like what are these Eternals about? I'm like, to be honest, I don't know, because I started buying these ones for the covers, and eventually I'll read them when I get the full volumes. As like I actually went into it not knowing a lot about the characters and stuff like that, right? So.
Which is funny because these characters have been around since the Bronze Age.
Yeah. Right.
So it's not like these are just newer characters or something. I mean, they've been around a while.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I really did enjoy it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not making my like top 10 or anything of Marvel movies, but a lot of it probably leans on the way it looks as well. So it's why I buy so many comics for the covers too, right? I kind of buy that movie for the way it looked compared to.
I just thought it was too long for me, so it just didn't hook me enough. Except for the 2 end credit scenes. With those, I was how I wanted to be the entire movie. I was like on the edge of my seat, going yes.
Yeah, I guess and the story, giving stuff away, was kind of like you could kind of get like. You kind of knew what was going to be happening for the most part. So, but I mean, it's an introduction movie too, right? I just don't know. Hopefully Marvel doesn't shy away and just be like, oh, we're only making 1, because they never really have not just made 1 for the most part.
No, they haven't. But at the end, it did say the Eternals will return.
Will return. Yeah. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
It did say that. So
that's the thing. Like I think they go into these things going, you know what? We don't care if people don't like them or not. We're making 3 of them because we're still gonna make a crap ton of money off of them. Yeah. Even if they suck, right? So I mean, I wasn't huge on the Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3. They're still good movies, but I probably won't watch them again. And Iron Man is like, Robert Downey Jr. helped make the entire universe. Is just.
So let me ask you: do you have any opinion about the runtime on the Batman movie?
No.
Did you hear the runtime?
I heard it was like 3 hours, which
it's 2 hours and 56 minutes, which includes the 8-minute credits. But it does sound like there's an end credit scene, at least one.
Yeah. So it kind of sounds like they're going to make more. Then I didn't know if this was just going to be like a one-shot movie.
No, I think they're always going to make more Batman movies. It's just a matter of who's going to be cast in them.
Yeah, I guess I mean like a continuation of that universe.
I would
specific one.
I mean, with DC films, whatever sticks goes. I mean, we were supposed to have,
true.
Ben Affleck series of Batman movies, and that didn't happen. We're always going to have a Batman movie. I'm not worried about that. Yeah. I think it's just a matter of what sticks or not.
I am looking forward to. So for me, my opinion on 3-hour movies, because I think some movies could be 4 hours, is I'm just going to watch them. I'm not going to watch them over like again as much as I would like a shorter movie. So it's like the first time it's like, yeah, that was awesome, but that was also a 3-hour haul. I think for myself, I'm also really used to it because as long as it's better than JLA, I'm happy. Yeah, that's true. I'll go to a movie and then my mom and I will go to the same movie. So I go to a lot of movies twice in theater, whether they're 3 hours or 2 hours. So I'm kind of used to it. So like every time I see a 3-hour movie now, I'm just kind of like, well, every movie is 3 hours for me because they're officially like 5 and 6 hours because I go twice before within a week span, right? So
what I liked about the Snyder Cut though is at least they kind of put it in chapters. So if you need to stop somewhere, they give you. They're not. I mean, it's not purposely stopping points, but they are built-in stopping points in that movie.
That's I guess for a DC for me is I don't have a lot of investment in them. So I don't. They're not they're not good or bad. I guess for me, does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like I can just kind of take what was good out of them and leave the bad stuff. Compared to like to a Marvel movie or like the Guardians of the Galaxy was the biggest one for me because I was just kind of like those runs I was showing you earlier. That volume of Guardians of the Galaxy, that's where that's the Guardians of the Galaxy I knew and kind of had fell in love with as well. So I the only time I've ever had expectations for a movie will be a Nova movie or a Guardians of the Galaxy, or if they did like an Annihilation Conquest. Yeah. Because that's when I really started to get into comics and started reading comics. It was that, you know what I mean? I haven't been in this since I was really young and read all the other stories. So those were the only two that I would have expectations kind of. So, and I loved Guardians. So it was fantastic.
Well, one thing, and saying this definitely is not news, but it certainly has been reaffirmed again. It got proven again yesterday and last week, but James Gunn knows how to use music in his projects correctly.
Yeah.
And, because he's doing the Peacemaker show right now, and he certainly he makes the music enhance what he's done, which is what the music should do.
Yeah. I haven't watched any yet, but I've had a couple friends even that I work with that just talk movies with like comic movies with me. And one guy he says it's one of the funniest comic related shows he's ever, or movies, slash whatever he's seen. He's super, super happy with it. So
now if Vigilante was my favorite character, which he isn't, I like the character.
Yeah.
This is certainly a different portrayal than I ever think Vigilante would have been like. So I don't know if I would have been crazy about that if I was a diehard on that character. Yeah. But it's still cool to see the character get some recognition.
I don't really know too much about him. I know that apparently they filmed with a different actor, and then they filmed a couple. I was thinking the other day, they said they filmed a couple episodes with a different actor, and were like not feeling it, so they reshot with this guy. And I think this guy was in one of the Harry Potter movies actually. Now that because I was IMDb and everybody just to see who everybody was, whatever, from what I could tell. So
awesome.
I'm going to show a couple more books.
Yeah.
Let's pop over to here. I even kind of I organized these to kind of lead into other ones. So I got a little bit of Black Panther going on. I'm a big fan. So this is a Gleason variant of Black Panther. I think it's number 25. It's from like volume 8 or something like that.
Oh, that cover is great.
Yeah. And I don't know, this kind of the way does this not look like oh my god, what's that movie way back in the day where the girl is like she's dancing for everybody and she's in the chair and she's
does it not
Yeah, does it not look like
dance,
he's kind of like in that stance, ready to do the dance? Every time I
kind
see
of,
it,
yeah.
I'm like, this is kind of Black Panther flash dance. So, this was a neat. I think this is from the same run as well. It's got a little bit of sticker on it from the thing, but this is a really neat variant. I don't remember who does it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then this bad boy, who you called Fierce.
Yes.
This is a Marco Cicchetto. This is a Young Guns
That's
variant.
Fierce.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it so that's so nice. I've actually, so this is my presser who I'm selling a bunch of comics for in the Facebook auctions. This was his. And there's like him and I have kind of worked out. He said, just, if there's books that you like that I send you, just put them aside and we'll work out prices and stuff like that. And, I kind of like give him X amount, but like, sell as much as I can from him. And I was like, I'm not going to grab this one right away. I put it up in a couple of random auctions, just rotated in and out. And nobody, I said, if that's, I'm going to give it like 3 or 4 auctions. And if it doesn't go, I'm just going to slide it over into mine. So, and I'm glad that I did. I probably should have just grabbed it right away, but
yeah,
I have access to a bunch of this guy's books. That can get me in trouble with my own, you know what I mean? Because I'm also buying from here and here and here and here. So I have to be like on point. I'm going to show you just 2 more books and then we'll get into
I want to say something about that cover one more before you move on.
Yeah.
That cover, the first time that I saw it, what it looked like to me, what it reminded me of is a type of gallery piece you would see somewhere, all enlarged and framed and matted.
100%. And the name on the bottom here doesn't actually take away from it, because you almost think of it. It still looks like a Virgin variant.
Yeah, it does. That's fantastic.
I do find like a lot of the Young Gun variants, because I've seen other ones that it's very similar, where they're putting very minimal. I'm like, that's what you should be doing for these variants, at least for variants. You know what I mean? Just own, like, why can't every variant be a Virgin and then just have a trade dress for the actual, you know what I mean? So I say that, but then this actually works on this one. This is the Scotty Black Panther #1 Scotty Young variant, but the actual wording of Black Panther looks pretty fantastic, because
it is cool.
Got the purple and stuff. So, and then one more, only because it's a Scotty Young but not Black Panther, is a Moon Knight #1.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'm half and half. I know that you're Scotty Young. You've mentioned before, it's not necessarily your style. I think I said before, like I like one out of every like 5 or 6. You know what I mean? So it's like, for me to grab as many as the Scotty Youngs that I want, would probably, if he's got 100 covers, then I probably like 20 of them. So it's going to be very easy for me to grab this one and this one and this one, right? So, because those, I mean, I might have 4 or 5 that I actually keep for myself. So
I would like to see, and perhaps he's done this already and I just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
I would like to see Scotty Young's take on Disco Dazzler.
That's true, actually.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like because of his art style, what he does, and you can recognize his art right away, he should be doing every character. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some covers that feel like they have every cover in it, because he's doing variants for crossovers and stuff like that. But I've never seen a Dazzler for sure.
Yeah, I haven't either, although I haven't extensively looked.
No, and that's true too. But I think because, I mean, I don't know. I don't really see her in a lot of. I don't read a lot of comics, I guess, as much as I would have, but I don't see her a lot, and she doesn't have like a more modern
series anymore. Yeah,
she needs a modern series, or at least like in an A-Force or something like that, like something along those lines, right? So
speaking of, I've got to get that A-Force #1.
The
that all-female cover that just looks like a poster.
Oh yeah, there's 2. There's volume 1 and volume 2. I'm just wondering which.
I think it's volume 1.
Volume 1, I think so.
To me, it's that really iconic one.
It's the all white one or whatever, right? In the background, it's on it's like an eggshell white or whatever you call it. Yeah. I got to
get that one at some point.
There's a volume 2 that's really, really nice as well. In volume 2, there's a couple of really, really nice variants that I wouldn't mind getting my hands on too, but they're of course not cheap.
Nope.
So, and that one's got a little heat too, because there's
it does.
First appearance of I can't remember her name, but I mean, any first appearance now is through the roof, you know.
Plus, I mean, they kind of did a mini A-Force tribute in Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I would like to see them do a movie, but I wouldn't see it happening because I don't think that they would use all those characters. I could see them doing a Disney show, and then taking some of the B characters. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not all B characters on the cover, and I couldn't name them all off, but I'm pretty sure like some of them are not like A-list characters, I guess you could call it. You know what I mean? So they could easily do a show.
Yeah,
6 episodes, easy peasy. A-Force. Here you go.
Yep.
Tie it all in. I'm not going to show a bunch of books, but I'm going to talk about this book since we're kind of talking about that. So I'm going to just show you this. I did not. This is not a cover, so it doesn't have the heat or the value. But I wanted to read it, so I got my LCS to order me Animal Castle. I think I told you about it.
Oh wow!
This is a second printing. And it has to do, it's kind of a take on Animal Farm from what I can tell. And I did read it and it's actually pretty good. Quick thing is like basically humans are gone and, animals can all talk. And, there's basically a hierarchy of who's the workers and who's the bosses. And that's a big ass bowl basically in the middle. And it's pretty good. I don't know if it would be something cool for me to grab like a trade paperback because I don't think it's going to be a long series. And that's why I wasn't worried about trying to go get like a first printing or whatever. But I do know that it did get hot right away and people were obviously grabbing it off the shelf and reselling it as fast as they could for a higher price. So
what company is that?
It's a Blaze.
Okay.
I've never heard of them.
Yeah, I haven't either.
It says a Blaze right there. I have a comic that I'm going to be showing that whenever we get to it, it's a variant. I don't know. I think I posted it the other day, but I looked tonight and I was like, man, I've never even heard of this this comic company or whatever. I'm like, who the heck is this? So yeah, no. I don't know. Like, I guess I don't have or. What I'm trying to get out of my head here, but I've decided not to. I hemmed and hawed about a 2022 want list. I know that you just kill it on yours, man. You just destroy it. Last year, it's crazy because I got so many great books, and I may have chipped off like 2 on my actual list, but like a bunch of the great.
An extensive list.
The year before I made a super extensive list. Last year, I think I did 12, but they were.
I bet you did more than 12.
I feel like this last year was 12, but the year before was like 23. It was so stupid. But and I had some bigger books and kind of hot, hotter books that were like gonna be out of my wheelhouse anyways. But I just ended up with me. I seem to get a lot of great books, but they just kind of come out of nowhere. Yep. So I'm like. I've actually changed my focus this year. I think, and I've already started it, is I'm going to start focusing on some of the runs. Especially some of these indie runs like that. I've got one of them in here, like it's like 12 issues. It's like, you know what? Why don't I just pop that off? Or focusing on a little bit more on maybe even that Guardians of the Galaxy run, which is a little easier. And then just whatever good books happen to come my way, grab them while I can, right? So change the focus up a little bit. I'll probably just end up, the books that come my way will probably end up being the ones that I wanted last year somehow. You know what I mean? It'll just be like when you're not looking, that's when they come.
Yep.
It's like, come on. But you, man, you just kill it. Like I just like watching it. It's like, man, like he's just destroying it right now. It's good though.
I don't know if that means I should set my goals higher, or
do you think you would get out of hand though if you do?
I try to be realistic, but also push myself at some levels of saying, like I've got a Spider-Man, a Silver Age Spider-Man book on my list right now, and I don't think it's not an impossible book to get, but I don't know. That one makes me nervous.
Yeah. What one was it again?
It's 62. It's with Medusa.
Oh yeah,
with the hair coming down and grabbing Spider-Man.
Yes, and it's very not Virgin variant, but like it's basically just
it's all white space pretty much.
Yeah.
White
That's
background.
a
So
very cool looking book.
Yeah, like that one I worry about a lot too. But you know what? Books like that I think I should put on my list.
Yeah.
Because it's making me think a little bit outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's one that I want. I know I'd enjoy it. I've never read it. I know it's available digitally and I could right now.
Yep.
But
that's why, like, even with mine last year, like I said, I didn't really end up going after them, but for the most part, most of those books were affordable. And then my last two, I put as my most expensive ones, just in case I want to step out of my, like your comfort zone kind of. And like, even like, let's say if I all of a sudden, like I get the first 10 really fast. And I'm like, you know what? It's just the confidence is there. Like, how can I maybe sell some books to get that, you know what I mean? Get that bigger book, you know, like what do I got to do to get there? Right.
So this afternoon, if it's okay, I want to mention this before you show your next book, kind of talking about goals and stuff and filling in runs. I was talking to you and you are slaying it with these Avengers back issues. And that's awesome. And Avengers is a title that I would like to continue working on as well. Excuse me. So today I messaged you and I said, take a look at this. And when I looked at my CLZ, I said, you know, I'm 13 issues away from completing a run of Avengers between 170 and 280.
Yeah.
So 13 issues away out of 110 issue run. That's pretty good. And that seems awesome. Very doable.
Yeah.
And then I started looking after I talked to you, and I thought to myself, okay, something is really odd here. I have 227 through 270 and 272 through 280. I'm like, why do I not have that 271? And I'm like, that seems really odd. So I pulled up and I looked at the cover of 271.
Yeah.
And I went, I'm sure I have this book. So I pulled a few books that had to be filed away in the same long box that Avengers is in.
Yeah.
And I went and it was there.
Oh, nice. That's
so
wicked.
What was 13 is now down to 12.
Oh, that's awesome. I thought you were going to say like it's some crazy key. I'm thinking like, what number is 271?
No, it's just for whatever reason, it didn't get cataloged in my CLZ. But I knew looking at the book, I'm like, I'm sure I have this.
Yeah.
Where I looked at the other books, the other 12, and I'm like, no, I know I don't have this one.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I'm just saying filling in runs like that, especially when you're looking at a title that's huge, just break it down and start breaking it down into chunks.
Into sections, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I like too, because you're like, hey, I've got, and it's not like you had to pick on and like, I'll try 150 to 100 or 200 or 200 to 250. It's like if it's random at 170, if you have 168, it's not, you start at 168, you know, and just go and get a chunk of it done. And, you know, what's kind of, and that's one of those things where you can kind of, you know, like we were saying earlier, if you're buying books from somebody, you'd be like, hey, do you have any of these ones? Because if I'm trying to maximize shipping, and these should be cheaper books because they're just, some of them are literally run fillers.
Yeah.
Which is a nice way to kind of fill that stuff, right? So instead of just grabbing random ass covers like I was doing for a while, I don't do it as much now. But these two books are actually rebuys for me. There was a guy who is in the auctions, and I've funny enough, I've actually done this week. I haven't even mentioned it to you, but so I have, this is an indie title. This is Die number 1. Okay. Mm-hmm. I have this book in a CGC 9.8. When this guy did this auction X amount of months ago, Die 1 was heating up again. Mm-hmm. And I saw this and I got this for a super cheap price that he had it on for. So it secured the buy or whatever, and then just kind of put a whole pile together, see if he has other auctions. And then I put the 98 up for raffle right away because it was hot. I was going to maximize some money out of it, and then I've got this in return. I don't mind not having the graded comic because eventually this one will get graded. Sure. And funny enough, I just put up tonight in one is another indie comic called God Country number 1. Well, there was a guy 2 weeks ago, because sometimes I'm just farting around in these auctions, or even if I'm on eBay or whatever, like you're hitting watch lists, you're taking screenshots. Like my whole phone is comics half the time. And this guy had a nice copy of God Country #1, which I already have in a CGC 9.8, and it is really, really hot right now. And I'm hoping that it will move. And I just messaged the guys like, hey, you still got this? Like, great. Here's a little bit of money. Send it my way, and then put this up. Like, I like to rotate books out if I can, especially like these, because these aren't. The problem with indie titles, it's not like yes, there's first appearances in here, but this isn't a first appearance of, like a Marvel character who's going to keep showing back up. Like, these need to have more volumes, and that's about it, right? And after like the first 3 issues of any indie title, for the most part, your first appearances aren't even going to matter. Night, Cookie.
Yep. See you.
Have a great night. Thank you so much. So I got that, and then I actually he had a for really good prices. He had the #1, which I already have a copy of. It's just a really, really great cover, and I'll get them both graded and keep the one that I like, and hold on to this in case it ever gets optioned, and or just sell it at some point. So show a couple more. This is from Volume 1 of Magic Order. This is is it #1 as well? Yeah, it's #1, but it's a Tyler Kirkham variant. Because I'm slowly putting together all the every cover basically from Volume 1. Probably not Volume 2. I am collecting the A covers, but I'm noticing the art is not necessarily what I'm looking for, but they're really good reads. So I still want to get the A's compared to Volume 1. It's like the variants are fantastic. The A's are fantastic. This variant of #1 for 7 to Eternity is called the Bug variant. It was a free, I think it's a free comic book day, and then called the Bug variant or whatever, because I don't know why they call it the Bug variant, but it's really hard to see the guy up top here. But you see his swords and stuff like that. So, and this is actually it's a harder to find book, and I got it through a Facebook auction. I was super happy to get it, that in. Crossover #1. I bought this when it first came out or whatever. There was a guy that had it in a comic auction for super cheap, and I just grabbed it. I thought he was going to be doing a lot more auctions, and he didn't. So I finally just said, like, you just send me that book, man. So
you know what that type of cover is called?
No.
That is an infinity cover.
Why is that?
Because you're holding a comic book of him holding the same comic book of him holding the same comic book of him holding the same.
That's right.
And it goes on infinity.
That makes sense. That's super funny, actually. I never would have thought about that unless you mentioned it. No idea what this is about. Just a cool cover. Love the pink. This is Hollow Heart, #1. That's a cool skull, space skull. Nottingham #3. Heard this is a super good read, this run. I'm not a huge fan of most of the covers, but there's this and another cover that basically just has this ship, like really big. And I don't know. I like ships and horses and worlds and skulls on covers. So that one. Port of Earth, #8. This is a run that I've been putting together. There's only like 12 issues and a couple of variants. So that will probably be something I finish off very easy this year. I know they got optioned or something like that, so it got hot, but like it's a PC. I'm keeping them for the PC anyways. And then I'm going to show a couple more just to get through some of this pile. This is Grant Morrison's 18 Days, issue #1. This is a B cover. And the artist is something Singh, like Singh, and I don't remember his first name. But I got issue 1 and issue 10 B, which were both variants. I just found them at my LCS when I was doing some backbin diving. They're really nice. They kind of look like they kind of look like a video game.
Yeah,
cover
a little bit.
Or something, Especially
I was thinking that looks like Thanos' gauntlet on the other cover.
Oh, here, actually, yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's even got like the little circles.
Yeah, it really does. Actually.
Where
it literally looks like the gauntlet, just like in a more futuristic somehow, but not futuristic.
Like an abstract gauntlet.
Yeah. That's some pretty cool art there. We got Monstrous #3. I'm just putting together the first 10 issues of Monstrous. I did that with Saga as well. Just because the art starts to look a lot the same, which is fantastic, but like I don't need the entire run of covers if they're going to look very similar, right? So And Gun Honey, this is number 1. This is the H cover. I don't even remember what because there's a couple versions of this one, but it just looks great. There's another one that I have that's just all white in the back.
Do you remember who I said that looks like?
Yeah, Gal Gadot.
Yeah, I always think that cover looks like Gal Gadot.
Yeah. Beauty and Shape.
Yeah.
Descender number 25. Funny because I'm putting together Descender. There's Descender, and then Volume 2 is actually called Ascender, which I think is pretty cool. But I'm slowly putting together all the covers for this. It is a really cool read. I think this might be a variant, but the art is done by Dustin Wen. There's a guy that I saw in an auction recently who has issues 1 to 25, and then he has a variant of number 1. He's got them for a really good price, even with shipping. I'm like, I don't have a lot from 1 to 25, maybe like 10 issues. I'm like teetering on like, do I just buy those and then start putting the ones that I have, and or just keep the better of the copies.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd have 1 to 25, right? And I'm just working on I think there's only like 45. So I'd just be working on the back end of it as well, right? So something to think about. Okay. One quick more. This is the one. It's called Steampunk. It's a J. Scott Campbell cover. It's issue number 4. It's by Cliffhanger Comics.
Oh, wow.
I've never heard of Cliffhanger right there.
Yeah.
And J. Scott Campbell, I would have to assume maybe it's some of his early work, or like when he was before he really started to get noticed, right? Because it's like, who the heck has heard of Cliffhanger Comics? That's a cool cover though. Like I like this, where like this face is the mask that she's wearing in the back, like her actual face is in the mirror.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and a nice little skull down there and stuff like that. Like it's pretty neat when you really start to break it down. I love the clock in the back and stuff like that. And I mean, I like steampunk obviously because the next set of books are going to be a bunch of Lady Mechanica. So it was kind of a neat thing they did there. So.
Did you look on CLZ and see how many issues are in that volume?
I did not. I would assume there's probably not a lot. But no, I'm not too sure. I don't know if he does a lot of the covers in it as well. Like I don't. I'm sure I looked at the art. I just don't remember if it was mostly him or not. So yeah, I just noticed actually there's a bit of a crease down this Descender one too. You have to upgrade that one.
Yep.
Oh, here comes the train.
Oh, you could hear it? I was trying to mute
it.
I was trying to mute the majority of it. I'm actually wondering if it's a second train coming from a different direction.
That's funny. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to show a couple more anyways.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. All right. Let's put me back here. It's a bit of a Lady Mechanica meets Lady Death actually kind of run here. This is Lady Mechanica Tablet of Destinies number 1. A lot of these came from the site that you and I ordered at Christmas Day.
Yeah.
This is a B cover of the same run. So there are like 7 volumes, I think, of Lady Mechanica. They're all like 4 to 6 issues, really, really quick.
Hey, Brian.
They all have.
Happening.
Hi, Brian. Pardon me, I'm just burping while you're walking in. I apologize. And I'm slowly just putting together all the covers. So this is La Belle Dame Sans Merci number 1. This is for Lady Mechanica. So even though like the volumes, just each volume, they're not like called. Yeah, I guess officially they're called Volume 1, Volume 2, blah blah blah. But they all have a different title name. So it's like a story arc. Like literally, like the name of this volume is La Belle Dame Sans Merci is the volume, which I think is pretty cool. I'm sure a lot of other volumes do have that type of thing, but I mean, some of them don't too, right? Some, it's like if it's Guardians of the Galaxy, it's volume 15 because they brought out so many, right? This is issue number 4 for the volume is Sangre. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. It's a cool cover. And then this is just the main run actually. This is number 2, and this is like a B or C cover. So I got that.
A lot of her covers look alike.
Yes, they do. And that's one of the things too, because I don't. It's one of those weird ones where, like I was saying earlier, like with Saga and stuff like that, and Monstrous, I don't want to buy past issue 1. Also, like these are volumes compared to those ones are just one straight out. But I just enjoy every cover, even though a lot of them do look very, very similar, right? Like it's the same pose, like she's in the same stance almost every time, right? So, and then these two, which were actually like kind of pricey for these variants or whatever on the sale that we got. This is Lady Death, Malevolent Decimation #1. This is a premium foil edition. It's a thicker book too. It's really nice. Because Lady Death, for the most part, is not like I don't know what you call it, attractive cover, I guess. You know what I mean? Like the way she's drawn. But this is super, super nice. I'm just trying not to get the light in it. And then this is the same, but this is the Naughty edition. And that's fantastic as well. So yeah, it was cool to get those. I don't have any Lady Death. I don't know if I mean, besides a couple cool variants, I probably wouldn't be collecting very much. I don't even know anything about the run and stuff like that. Just very, and it's Coffin Comics, COFFIN. Yeah, so that's kind of neat. Oh, this one's kind of cool. I'll show you this one. I watched Jimmy, Geek Aficionado. He showed this, but it was cool because when he showed this book, he had sent away 2 to get graded, I think, and one of them came back. I can't remember if it came back in 9.6 or 9.8. And I had bought this. I don't even know if I showed you that I bought it because of that sale. After we were done all our sale, and I said I bought a bunch of books, I just went back on and grabbed a couple more like that week because it was a week sale. This is 5 Ronin, issue #4, and this is a Psylocke, but it's got like that old, like the Ronin, like the yeah, really, really nice. And it was cool that he was showing it too because he just loved the cover. Yeah, I've seen some of the other covers as well, and they're pretty nice, but like this one's super nice. I don't know if you can see it that well, but if I make camera,
it's amazing how less is more when it comes to backgrounds sometimes.
Seriously, yeah. And I love the circle with the writing.
Yeah,
really, really nice. And I think it's just 4 or 5, so it'd be cool just to read them. Oh, it's David Mack, I bet you. It says Mack at the bottom.
Yeah,
which is cool. Yeah, David Mack's really good. Let's see. I'm going to keep rolling through here. This was very cool to get. I had looked at this at the Coins and Collectibles shop a bunch of times, and then finally just threw it in my thing because the nice part about the community here is that everyone just kind of collects Marvel and DC, and there's not a lot of indie guys around here, which I'm like, okay, great, I can't get indie cover or comics from them, but I'm also like, when they're available, I'm the only one who wants them. So they're all mine. So this is Grim Fairy Tales, like the very first issue.
Oh, wow.
Which was kind of cool. I actually don't like a lot of the art on the A covers of Grim Fairy Tales. It's all about like the variants and the specials and the naughty versions and stuff. But this is actually a super nice cover, drawn really well. And I just like, oh, you know what? Like I would really like to have that A cover. So like 1A, like the from what I can tell, it's just the original OG for Zenoscope. So I could be wrong, but. And then under the same company, this is Van Helsing, and this is issue number 50, which is a really nice cover. Obviously, these are just like, hot girls or pretty lady covers. And then today at the Coins and Collectibles shop, he had like a box of Grim Fairy Tales, and again, like if he had 40 books, I only liked one of them, and it was this one, and it was like $4. And then he's so good, you go up and you buy a bunch of stuff, and he just discounts stuff. Well, I was paying off my whole books with him, and then had just given him that pile that I sent you pictures of earlier. And he's discounting that. And I said, yeah, but I'm going to just buy this book here because it's like $4 Canadian, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then he charges me for the remainder of what my layaways from that you'll see coming soon. I was like, no, you forgot the book. He's like, no, I didn't forget it. I just threw it in there for free. I'm like, this guy is just awesome. This is Grim Fairy Tales presents Realm War. This is issue number 2. And this is a J. Scott Campbell as well. And I have issue number 1 that I got in like an auction, which I showed in my last video. So it's just random that I ended up with this one. And I checked the run because there's only like 12 issues, and he only does like the first like 3 or 4, and then another artist took over. So I'm like, oh, because I'm a big fan of J. Scott Campbell. I do get why some people don't like his art, and there is a lot of stuff where I'm not a huge fan of, but like this one's done really well. So like when I see the ones I really, really like, I grab them if I can. Right? So
he's got a Dazzler variant for an X-Men Legends that I've seen it in person too. Sometimes when you look at a book and you see the cover online, it's something, but when you see it in person,
yeah.
Well, when I saw it online, I'm like, ooh, I think I like that. And then I saw it in person and I was like, oh, I know I like that. So
yeah,
I've got to pull the trigger and
well, I mean, yeah, like you know he draw, how he draws, right? That hot girl kind of or whatever. You'll have to send me a picture of it or something, or I'll check it out. Because I didn't realize he did one. So
I think it's an exclusive on his site.
That would make sense. So it's probably not super cheap either.
No. So no.
But again,
what is these days?
Yeah, exactly. Especially
even Foo for number 1 isn't cheap anymore.
No, exactly. Was when I bought it.
Good.
So I took this one out of the bag. This is Witchblade number 1. This is not her first appearance, but it is her first solo series.
Mm-hmm.
I've always enjoyed this cover, but I took it out of the bag because and I think I've showed you it before. The back cover is basically a Virgin variant. I'll turn it around here. And I was watching someone's video the other day. I can't remember who it was, and they were talking about this book, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that the back cover could basically be a front cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like when they do that, right? So.
Well, I am sending you some clear backing boards.
Yeah.
So that would be a good book for it. That'd be a good contender for it.
Yeah.
I'd love to send you a full pack, but it's just so expensive because of the weight on them.
Yeah.
It would probably cost more than it cost me to send that omnibus to you.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. And
because they're not.
So I'm just going to send you.
Strong.
I'm just going to send you 5 at a time until you end up getting a pack.
Well, it was cool because because this was my precious book, and I had mentioned that I wanted this one or whatever, and I said, "Did you see the back cover?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, blah blah." And I had told him about the clear backing board. So the book, the one that you sent me with the Star-Lord, I put this book in it to show him. I said, "Here's the book that I'm buying from you," and I just went like this, and he was just like, "Can I take it out? Can I, can you like playing with it?" He's like, "Oh my God, how do I get those?" I'm like, "They're not cheap," and like even our LCS were like. They looked. I remember asking them. They're like, "We can't get those, or we could, but it's like you want to, pay an arm and a leg." Like, no. Let's do this. Cat's rolling in the back.
Yep.
This is Damsels in Excess. I've never heard of this, but I like the coloring and stuff like that that's going on with these covers. I have another one.
That cover to me, that character. It looks like if you merged Tigra and Rogue together.
Yeah, I totally see that actually. I like the knife too. Shiny knife. This is one that I got in the this one's great. This is Red Sonja Age of Chaos number 1 Virgin variant. I got it on Christmas Day or whatever.
Oh wow. That's
super nice. When I was at the Coins and Collectibles shop, he does have some Conan books or Conan or whatever, and I'm always like, I want him to have number 23 because I'd like to get her first appearance at some point. Like not like make it on a list, like it's it's not a high priority, but I'm like hoping like he gets it so I can just like add it into a pile for a good price and get a little discount on it. Like those are the books I want him to. I don't need him to bring in the books that I can get anytime just at a higher price. I need the ones that I can't find and don't want to spend too much on, right? So
Brian has a question.
Oh, shoot. Was Witchblade once a TV show? I don't know, actually.
I don't know either. I don't think so, but I can't be 100% correct on that.
Oh, wow, indeed. I assume that you're talking about the Red Sonja.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
But Brian, I am going to tell you something that was a TV show, and I want you to watch it if you haven't already. And if you've already watched this, I want you to watch it again. There was a 2-episode live action, not animated, but live action in the 70s DC show called The Superhero Roast. And I can't remember the other one, but it's Adam West and Burt Ward are back as Batman and Robin. There's a live action Shazam, a live action Black Canary, a live action Huntress, a live action Solomon Grundy. And those are streaming free right now on Tubi, I believe.
I've never heard of it. I like how you said it's just a 2-episode as well.
Yeah. The thing is, these aired on 2 consecutive Friday nights in prime time. When you watch them, you'll go, this aired in prime time.
He's saying I feel like it was a 90s TNT.
Maybe. I mean, Xena was hot at that time, and they were looking for anything that would be Xena-like.
That's true.
But Brian, I want you to watch that. I have seen that. He said, well, you can watch it again for free, which is about what it's worth on Tubi. So
this one here is from Boom Studios. This was a cover by it's Yoshitaka Amano's Hero Gallery supplement to Party of One. Mm-hmm. I took it out of the bag because it's just a cool, like, this looks like it could be like a book.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's a wraparound cover, but here's the book opening, and it wraps around that way instead of at the spine.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like you can't, like, if, for example, if I hold it like this, which I don't mind, it's backwards.
Yeah,
like it doesn't connect. It's kind of, but it's kind of cool like that. But it's just a great cover. So I was like, all right, I'll grab that. I mean, we were getting pretty good deals, and it did not cost much. So this is Michael Moorcock, Elric, The Dreaming City, #1, but from Titan Comics. Just a great cover.
Mm-hmm.
She's lovely. She's gonna kill. She looks great.
Yep, and she don't even need shoes.
She don't even need shoes. I've wanted this book for a little bit now, and I kept seeing it in auctions for like $10, $15, $20 and stuff like that, and didn't really know too much about it, but found it at my LCS in their back issue bin when they were having a sale, so I got it for like $4. This is X-Women one shot.
I've seen that cover. That's great.
Yeah. It's Chris Claremont and Milo Manera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when I posted it, I can't remember who commented, and they were like, "Oh man, I want that." I'm like, that's what I said. I said, "It's funny. I've always kind of wanted it, but I didn't want to pay the price that everybody was trying to sell it for." So, because I'm like, it's not. I don't know. I just thought maybe, like, is it a rare book? Like, there's nothing like. I've never heard anybody talk about it, right? So.
It's not a wraparound cover, is it?
I don't know. Actually, it's a good question. Nope. It's
okay.
UFC on the back, so that's weird, eh? Here is a White Widow. There's a lot of cool variants for this White Widow. These White Widow volumes, I guess you could call it, from Absolute Comic Group, and they basically, like, all their variants, they homage other things out of other stories and shows and stuff like that. And this is obviously Mandalorian and the boy. So just a fantastic cover. I got it for cheap in an auction. So, and these go, like, any White Widows actually go a lot. Like, I'll just be watching auctions and they'll go a lot. So I'm really surprised that nobody grabbed it. They were past the Baby Yoda hype because the season was over. So I think that helped me. Because if it was during that time period, I'd be toast. So, oh yeah, 2 more modern, and then we're getting into some of the goodies. This is Zombie Tramp. Again, I don't like a lot of the covers, but some of them are done really, really nice. This is issue 56. It's a variant. That's really, really nice. Great colors as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one, I think I just posted the other day. This is Contest of Champions #1. This is the first appearance of the White Fox in first cover appearance, which she is up here. I'll show you the cover first. And funny enough, because it's like, yeah, she's up. Where's my finger here? She's right here. I think this is based on a video game, the Contest of Champions, but then they made it into a comic, or vice versa, obviously. But
well, they had a comic book of that out in the Bronze Age.
In the Bronze Age, yeah. I mean, like, I guess like this actual like arc, I think it is based on like not even a video game. I think it's a game for your phone, possibly. Okay. Yeah, it's basically, I think it's just like you pick a fighter and they pick a fighter, like a Mortal Kombat kind of thing. And from what I can tell, I could be completely wrong there. And not being the hugest Hulk fan or Venom fan, who are very prominent on this mm-hmm. cover, I actually like this cover a lot. So
yeah, that's cool.
It's a lot going on, but like not in a bad way, I guess. So it's kind of cool. And I mean, it's also has a first appearance, and I think it's got a little bit of heat behind it, which is never a bad thing to have in your collection. So
O'Brien's got an update for us.
Google says Which Way was on TNT in 2001 for 2 seasons.
I do not remember that at all.
A detective with a supernatural weapon is the tagline. Holy crap.
No, don't remember that. He answered his own question.
Yeah. It is kind of funny, too, because we're like, was this? And we're like, we could probably find out in about 5 seconds. The power of the internet these days, right? So, all right. So here is the juice. Here's all right. The big ones. Ready for these?
Foreplay is done.
Yeah, talking about kind of like what are kind of goals and stuff for this year about mm-hmm. me, like not making a list or whatever. A couple of the runs that are in here is what I'm actually going to be focusing on. So one of them is the first volume of Warlock, Power of Warlock.
Yep.
This is issue number 4. Pardon me. And I'm really, I think I'm really close to getting this in volume because there's only like 18 issues. It's really not that hard, and there's not a lot of keys in it, which it makes it fantastic when you're trying to put it together. This is issue number 5.
I like that cover. That's cool.
Yeah.
That would be a great cover to homage.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You can put anybody in their positions.
Yep.
100%. This one too, but a guy just diving on him is not as fun as a guy taking a swing basically at him, right? So, yeah, I like that. And I also have issue 13, which I'm not going to bother showing because I already have that book. Remember I told you I bought the same book? I was like, I just realized that during this sale.
You bought the same book twice.
Yeah, I bought the same book that I already have in the. I don't know why I was thinking like I had my phone there. I could have just checked, and I think it was like supposed to be issue 14 that I needed, and I for some reason I was looking at 13 like, oh, I need that one. Boom. Yeah. Well, it's not Mama's Family.
Yeah. What is, Brian? What is? It's funny. I was looking for Warlock books for you once. I think it was at a comic show, and the ones I found, because I had your CLZ Cloud pulled up, literally every book that they brought with them were the exact ones that you had. There wasn't even one that you didn't have, and I'm like,
the easier ones to find. I tried. Oh, that's funny. We've talked about this. This is from volume 3 of Silver Surfer. It's like the one run I'm probably not going to go after, and it's his longest run. What did I say? There was 103 issues or something like that.
Yeah.
But this is issue number 10, which is a fantastic cover. I'm basically just putting together all the covers that I like from this run, and then going after a couple of the actual other runs that he has, which is this book here. This is from volume 1. This is issue 17.
I love that.
Yeah. So after today, for not because of this book, but because of the pictures of it that I sent you earlier, I think I only need 4. And but 3 of them are 3 of the harder ones to get. So now issue number 3 and issue number 4, which is the first Mephisto, and then
And
the classic cover. Yeah. Number 14 has Spider-Man on the cover, and we all know what Spider-Man does to covers. He jacks the price up on anything. So, like, yeah, I mean, I even saw one in an auction the other day. And I'm like, that's around $80 or $90 more than I want to pay for it, and I would still be paying a decent amount for it. So, in time, those books will come in time. But whatever other issue I need, I'm going to focus on, because I'm just basically going to get all the ones that I can get my hands on this year, and then just kind of put it away. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Maybe start getting some of them pressed and graded. I mean, at some point, and then those other ones could come, 15 years from now, or they can come this year, right? Who knows, right? So,
I'll say one thing though: when you get down to those, especially number 4, if that comes into your world, I would scoop it up.
Yeah, 100%. Especially the way that I collect. I have a lot of like comic budget payment plans somehow with all these kind of things where I'm like, would you like to work this out? Would you mind if I kind of just went pay you a little bit here and here and here, and you just make connections and stuff like that? And that's how I'm getting a lot of this stuff, right? So, oh yeah, if it showed up at the Coins and Collectible shop, I would just be like, you're putting this one book on hold.
Yes.
And that's it. And he does that too. I remember one time, because he bought it was when I was really early into getting to know this guy, and he bought an ASM collection, and he had sold most of it really, really fast. And it was the first time I had heard that he basically does like layaways or holds, and or be like a layaway, because I was asking him about it. He's like, oh yeah, for sure. Like, I don't ask for any money down, blah, blah, blah. Just, like you basically like, if you don't come back, I'm just going to, at some point you got to come in, if I don't see you, I'm going to resell your book. And then he pulled out, he's like, this is one that a guy has on layaway with me right now. He literally has one book where everywhere else has like 15 books with me, or 10. And it was the first Punisher.
Oh, 129.
I was like, he's like, yeah, this guy just comes in payday, just gives me a little money. And he's like, I don't care if he takes a year to pay it off. He's coming in and paying what he wants.
When I was a little kid, and the closest comic book store to me was an hour away. So I'd occasionally get to go when my parents went to this bigger city.
Yeah.
They would drop me off, and then there was a different store that they were interested in that was just a couple blocks away. And what they would do with the back issues is, behind the glass counter, which ran pretty much across the entire store, the length of the store, they had this shelf. And he had, his short boxes, I think they were short boxes, on the shelf. And then he would take one comic book in its bag, and he would tack the bag up so it's not touching the book in front of the box. So, my X-Men, they're behind. They're in the box behind the X-Men book, blah, blah. I remember specifically seeing the ASM 129 as the front book for that box. And I remember it was $10 then. And I never bought one, because $10 usually was my budget when I would go there. And I'm like, why would I spend my entire budget
on one comic?
In a heartbeat. If I could go back in time and redo that, I would do that in a heartbeat.
Oh man.
Yeah. But it's funny, there's so many books that I just love, because they just were the front to the boxes. And back then that's the first time I saw some comic book covers ever in my life, I remember a lot of the different X-Men one, and there were a lot of the ones from the Phoenix or Dark Phoenix saga. Were the front cover.
There's a shop but my favorite shop around here, it's in Moncton, New Brunswick, which is about an hour and a half away from me, that I'll go to every so often. And they have on the front of all their long boxes, they have a slot for a comic, and they put comics in it, and you're like, you never see that anymore, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure they don't put key comics in there anymore, but it's cool to still see you walk in, you'll be like, okay, yeah, this is the M's because they have whatever, right? Like, all right, I like that. And all in order too. So, all right, so this is my first early Daredevil.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed this cover for the castle in the background. This is issue number 9.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that castle. I also like castles. And It is a busy cover, but I don't mind it for that time period.
Castles are very Doctor Doomish.
Yeah. That's why I really like Doom because of the castles. So whether it's a modern book or an older book, so yeah, it's cool. Cool to have it. It's one of those ones where there's a couple characters where like I will pick them up eventually down the line, like earlier issues, but it's like Spider-Man as well. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I have, I've got one on hold and I've got a couple, but I'll chip away at those only if I can get them for a really good price. I'm not focusing.
Now you got to get yourself a Daredevil with his original costume, the yellow costume.
Yeah, which is 7 and under.
Yeah, I think so.
7, yeah, 6 or 7 or something like that. Here's one that I'm getting really close to the. Well, I guess I'm getting closer to Warlock than I am with these, but this is Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., number 16.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good cover.
Yeah, so chipping away at that. Number 1. There's a couple covers, early covers that I seem to be getting all the back covers of that one. Where with Warlock, it's kind of spread out. Same with Silver Surfer, I'm getting most of them except for those, those couple. But it's the Nick Furies are a little harder to get the earlier ones, and I think it's because they're the more classic covers.
Yeah,
with, Steranko, I think it is.
Especially that cover for number 1.
Oh, it's so friggin' nice.
Yeah.
And then he does there's a homage of an artist. I think it's like number 7 or something like that. It's got the it's like that classic painting or whatever. It has a clock that's melding over and stuff. I'm like, man, like, they just don't show up. And there finally one I actually reached out to a guy in a comic auction that had a number 1. And I had taken a screenshot saying if I get money in my budget at some point, I'm going to reach out to this guy. And I reached out to him, and he was like, "No, it ended up going because like it's not like he was not trying to sell it. He could have just told me it costs more. I was like, just let me know what you're selling it for, and I'll let you know, if I like that price compared to what you had it listed at the time." But he's like, "No, it ended up going like 2 days later." I'm like,
did you say that was for issue 1?
Issue 1, yeah.
Issue 1, yeah. That doesn't surprise me because like I said, they don't last in the wild because when people see them, regardless of the condition, they pick them up.
100%. And the Coins and Collectibles guy had a lot of this run. He overpriced most of them. Besides, I think this one came from there today. I can't remember if this came from the website or from him. And I think I sent you a picture of one today as well.
Yeah, you did.
But he has some others, and they're just his pricing gets really weird sometimes. Sometimes it's overpriced, and sometimes it's not. Even though I know he's going to discount the price at the counter, there's still books that I won't touch because I just like I know these will come for a better price at some point. So, all right, last 4.
All right.
The last 4, and then we'll bounce out of here. I had forgot to tag this into my CLZ actually until today. I was like, oh, I forgot. For some reason I didn't have it. But this is Fantastic Four, number 41.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a great cover. And I don't mind the floating heads on the bottom because of her hair. It's a background thing. It doesn't. It takes away. It takes away from the floating heads that I don't like. I'm like, you know what? That actually works for me. So
you said that's 41.
Yeah. I don't know if it has any type of appearance or whatever, because I know obviously around the 40s there's a lot of.
Well, it's back when Medusa was evil.
Yeah.
I just asked because my oldest FF, my 2 oldest are 43 and 44.
43 and 44?
Yeah, those are my 2 oldest.
Nice.
And you got 41.
This is my oldest now because my oldest was 46, the first Black Bolt. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great cover.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a fantastic book. 3 left. And I know that you like this one because I remember when I sent it to you, you said, oh, I really want that one. This is Avengers 81.
I really want that one.
Yeah, it's really good condition too. I was looking at it again today. I was like, oh yeah, even a press will always help, but it's a really, really nice condition, especially compared to the last book cover in the show. Yeah.
You know what else is interesting for me about that cover is the fact that Scarlet Witch doesn't look like she's wearing tights in it.
Yeah.
It just, you know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's not.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. I think the Tommy gun right there looks pretty awesome too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I thought that was a shine on it, but no, it's just part of the cover that's missing.
Oh yeah.
Well, love this cover. This is issue 61 for Avengers.
You are so killing it with these pre-100 Avengers.
Yeah, that's fantastic too.
Yeah.
Some Black Knight action.
I think I have. I'm pretty sure I have the Marvel Superheroes reprint of that issue.
Okay.
I'm looking now.
That's really, really nice.
I do.
No, nice.
It's let me see it again. The color. Oh, that's interesting. The cover.
Mm-hmm.
It's like flipped mirrored. It's exact same image, but it's like flip mirrored, and some of the background coloring, while yours is more red and orange, it's more pink. I don't have the actual book here, but let me see if I can show you. Hold on a second here. If I can get this to go bigger for me.
How do I make you bigger?
I need to do that. I think on my phone I could get a better. I want to show that to you. That's I didn't notice that until just looking now. But yeah, you are killing it. What are you about? What did I say the other day? You were like a fifth completed of volume 1.
I'm in the low 20s now. I think it's like 22 or 23. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, let me put this up. Look at that.
See, it's the exact same image. It's just flipped.
It's flipped, yeah. And I see what you mean about the red and the pink.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Huh. That's awesome. And this one is my oldest Avengers. So I don't know if this is my oldest comic. It's got some spine wear, but everything's still attached. The staples look good. And this is issue number 15.
Wow.
Yeah. I have to assume it's my oldest. Well, it would have to be because I'm pretty sure. I mean, anything would be maybe like a Fantastic 441. I mean, that would be an early book for me too, right? So this must be my oldest. I never checked to see if there was any type of I mean, you know, first 15 issues, there could be a first appearance of nobody major, but like, you know, you just never know.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. He's got, it was tempting, but I looked at that silver stick. So I got a Silver Surfer book laid away at the Coins and Collectible shop, as well as you saw in the picture today. And it was a little bit more expensive than I wanted it to be, but I also knew he was going to discount it. But he has a Avengers number 20 there with Cap jumping down off a roof of a building with the shield.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
And it's so nice. And it's, again, yeah, that one. Let me just do this. And again, a little overpriced. I know that, you know, if I bring a pile to him of like, he basically like he counts the books that you have and then figures out his own math to take a discount off.
Yeah.
And like if it's still there in like maybe like 1 or 2 layaways from now, then I'll grab it. It was so tempting, but like I'm so close to getting everything that I want for the Silver Surfer run, besides like those last 3 that I know they're going to be a lot more expensive down the road. So I was like, I gotta grab that number 6 while I can, right? So,
well, you know that Avengers 15, that is the last issue of before the lineup changes.
Oh, okay.
Because the next issue is this.
That's right. I recognize that issue too.
Yeah, I'd love to have this issue.
Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah, it makes sense just seeing the characters around here. Yeah, that's sweet. It'll be cool. Like, I mean, this thing will come back at a, 2.5, 3.0 at best.
Well, congratulations on that.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, pretty.
I will sometime probably next month be showing what is now my oldest Avengers in my collection, but it isn't as old as that.
Yeah. Did it say what year this was?
Yeah, I can look here. Hold on. Give me one more second.
Because I felt like I have with somebody. The problem is I don't have all my books in one place because I have a lot of holds with going on with all these Facebook auctions and stuff like that. So I've been trying to not let my holds that have like sub 100 like FF and Avengers stay too long out, like not here.
January of 65.
This is 65, eh?
Yeah.
It's got to be my oldest book. I would assume so. Yeah, because I know that I have.
I got to look up that FF.
Yeah, I've got number 18 as well. I just don't think it's here.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that does look like it's probably here as well. So I really do need to.
65 for FF too.
For 41.
Yeah.
Number 41. Oh, wow. Huh. So it would literally come down to the month, basically.
Mm-hmm. And the Avengers was January. So
yeah.
I think,
yeah.
You know.
That would hold the cake. No, that's sweet.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
He must have just bought a collection of someone who had Avengers.
I know that that coin's a collectible shop. It's called Loyal City Coins. I remember he's had that shop like in 4 or 5 different places. I'm in the uptown area of my city. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing Loyal City Coins when I was like, 8 or 9 years old, maybe like with my mom, mm-hmm. like not like just walking by it because we were going somewhere else. Like, like say it's been maybe like when I was, early teens or something like that. But like I'm about to be 40. So he's been around, him and his wife have been around forever. And he has, it's just, I need to take a picture because you're going to be like, what the fuck? Like it's just this wall of long boxes. And then behind him, he has the boxes of like, he's got these short boxes of higher priced books than what will be in the long boxes. And then he's got binders. And he's like, all these binders are $80 or more. Every single comic. Some of the comics in there, I mean, there's super early like Disney stuff, like really early like Dell and stuff like that. Like some of the prices, like I'm like, I don't even know if this stuff is valued at this. Like I wouldn't even know because it's like those kind of unique comics. But and again, like I looked at the GPA on that Avengers 20. And he's selling it for under GPA because he doesn't do like he literally gets what's the price guide again?
Overstreet.
Yeah, he just gets Overstreet and then kind of judges it himself, which I think he's been collecting. He knows a lot about he knows a lot about comics for the most part. You know what I mean? Like he's not going to know much about modern what's going on, but like I mean, like he knows and he researches. So like if Overstreet says one price, then like I've said this before, like sometimes some things are really high priced and some things he's not because he doesn't follow what eBay and the market and Facebook and auctions and YouTube makes a book hot. He just knows that this was a first appearance of this person and Overstreet said this at around this grade. This is that value. So maybe you walk in and that $250 book is actually worth on the market right now $700 and he doesn't give a shit. Because he barely paid anything for it anyways, because I know he buys collections. Yeah. And he's kind of graded himself and went, this is the price. And when you get to the counter, I'm probably going to take a little money off of it. So
wow.
Even today, he was like, if you're looking for any ASM, I took them all home. I've got a bunch more. So I'm reorganizing and repricing them and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, great, man.
I might have to see if I can get a layaway going on that ASM.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh. Right. Just like,
yeah.
Man.
But it's cool. As opposed to there's a place and it's not a comic book store, but it's a collectible store.
Yeah.
And they do have comic books. They have the weirdest selection of comic books I've ever seen in my life. And I've only gone there twice. And I went back just a couple of weeks ago because I was just looking for one last thing to kind of fill in your A-OK and an A-OK for someone else. And I thought, I know that they're overpriced, but I'm just going to go back and look. The best way to sum up the store is, I think that they're so worried that something is going to be of value and they're going to miss out on it that they just overpriced everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Marvel New Universe books from the mid 80s, right?
Yeah.
They're asking, and these are not mint condition books, they're asking $7 for every New Universe book. And I'm like, you'd be lucky if you got a quarter for that in that condition.
There's nothing key.
And I don't mean a quarter of $7. I mean 25 cents.
Yeah.
So.
No. Yeah, they went, oh well, comics are hot right now. It's like, well, but
and like there's this random Wonder Woman issue from like 1984 or 1985 or something like that. It's not a key by any means, but he has like 8 copies of it. You know, he might not have any other copy from volume 1, but he's got 8 copies of this rando issue.
That's funny.
So, yeah.
Well, we're at $1.30. Want to close this thing down?
Sounds good, but congratulations on your haul.
Awesome, man. Yeah.
And for those wondering, I'm sure we'll be reunited pretty soon because, like I said, I've got something to send out to you. You just got some books in. For me, so
oh man,
we'll be back together soon.
Yeah, it's funny because my car issue from last night, like the goal was the reason why I went to pay off the layaway today, because I was like, oh, the website books are in, I should go. I know I was close on that first layaway and there was a couple AOKs in there. I was like, oh, I could grab everything. I could probably even, get the AOK out this Monday. And not that it was a rush, but I'm like, there's just the timing is everything is working really well out. Why would I not do it now instead of waiting a couple weeks? And then my freaking car battery went. And I was like, looks like I'm pushing that a couple of weeks. So, but I luckily have been working so much overtime and stuff like that. It barely, luckily I spent some of my overtime on my car this morning, but it's also, if you don't like fixing your car, then don't own a car. Or buy a new car instead of having a used piece of crap like I do, right? So it's gonna
part of the territory.
Yeah. So
awesome. Thanks for having me on. And of course, for those wondering, you'll be on Cover By every other week on my channel. We just dropped one on Friday. And I haven't said this publicly yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it now. Our next Cover By, which is 2 weeks from Friday, the first Friday of the new month, Bronze Age Brian is part of that.
There you go.
So, yeah.
He's the last comment in here, so he'll know it.
Yep.
That's awesome. Anything else you want to mention before we bounce out?
Fanboys Live and the Retro Review for this week is being hosted on my channel. That is tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. We are reviewing, it's part 2 of a 5-part story. So we did parts 1, 2, and 3 last week, and we'll do parts 4 and 5 and wrap it up of the 20th anniversary of the JLA JSA team up. That's from cool. Almost the mid 80s. And this one actually features the All-Star Squadron as well. So that will be on my channel. I'll be dropping another short, the back issue of the week. That will be dropping Monday morning on my channel. That will be 60 seconds or under. I'll have another video Tuesday afternoon of a comic book haul. And if you're not subbed to my channel for some reason, consider doing so. I certainly do appreciate it. And I sub back.
There we go. And I got random videos that'll come out random times, and that will be that. You'll see massive hauls or 3 books. So that's my life in a nutshell, my collecting life. So thank you to, obviously we didn't have a lot of people in here tonight. Anybody who watches on the replay, anybody who did jump in the comments, really, really appreciate it. Thank you, Ryan, for not last minute, but we basically set this up today. So
no problem.
I consider day of still last minute. Yeah. So
you were even double checking. You're like, are you sure you feel good? And I'm like, I feel better than I felt all week. So let's do it today.
No, that's perfect. Awesome.
All right. Thanks everyone for watching.
Thank you, everybody.